A very good morning to class 6th. Welcome back to your science class. Today we are going to start new chapter, that is chapter 7, getting to know plants. As the name of the chapter is suggesting its own meaning, that we are going to elaborate about plants. So before that, let me ask you, what do you understand by plants? When we think about plants, we have an image of green colored structure that grow on land or in water, right? The actual definition of the plants are the living things or living organisms that grow on land or in water. That means if we find a common thing between both, there is one thing, that is surface. So plants are living organisms that grow on land or in water surface. Okay. So why so? The reason is plants are stationary. They are not movable like us, like animals. Okay. So they need some surface to attach themselves and to stand upright. Okay, so they use either land surface or water surface for the same. Here, before starting our chapter, let me tell you what topics we are going to cover in today's class. We are going to study about types of plants, parts of plant, different types of leaf, venation, then structure of stem, and along with this we will also study about functions of leaves and stems. Here, plants are living things that grow on land or in water. So there you can observe one picture on your screen in which there are some students which are on a nature walk. They all are doing something with plants. One is hugging, one is sitting near the plant grasses, one is plucking something from the small plant, right? The term is common, plant, for all of them. But you can observe the variety here. One is having a large trunk, woody, hard, right? On the other hand, one do not have so, no trunk, no hardness. On the other hand, the one which is small in size, upright, do not have that thick trunk, right? So there is variety in the stem. Now, if we talk about roots, roots are also categorized into two categories. One is taproot and fibrous root. Okay. Then, if we talk about the flowers, some plants bear flowers. They are called flowering plants. On the other hand, some do not bear flowers at all. So these kind of plants are called non-flowering plants. The example of flowering plants is rose and your orchid, oleander. There are so many examples for flowering plants. On the other hand, the examples for non-flowering plants, pine, cycas, etc. Here you can observe the different color of leaves. Some plants have reddish or purplish colored leaves. On the other hand, most of the plant have green color, whether the color is dark or lighter in shade, but the leaves are mostly of green color. So this is another form of variety. Okay. Here we can observe some of the parts of plant. First is stem. Here it is, the long structure, the structure which allow the plant to stand upright is its stem. Then leaves, the green colored structure which we observe is leaves. Then roots, buds, flowers, fruits. These are some of the parts of a plant. Okay. Now you can observe one line here. I have made this to tell you about two systems. One is root system, one is shoot system. The shoot system is the shoot which is present above the ground level. Means this is the point from where the plant is coming in contact with the soil or the land. The part which is present below the soil is called root, and its whole functioning or system is called root system. On the other hand, the part which is present above the ground is called shoot system, and your shoot system includes stem, leaves, buds, flowers, fruits. On the other hand, your root system only have roots in it. Okay, then classification of plant. Your plants are broadly categorized into 5 categories, that is tree, herb, shrub, climber, creeper. These categories are on the basis of type of stem they have. Along with this, the hardness, the woodiness of the stem, then the weakness of the stem. So these are main points on the basis of which the plants are categorized. Yes, activity 1 of your chapter is asking you to observe some plants around you. Then you will see that some plants are smaller than you, some are about your size, and some plants are much taller than you. So on the basis of this, we have 3 examples from our surrounding: tomato, mango, and lemon. We will study about their height, stem, and the branches. Yes, in tomato, the plant is short, the stem is green and tender, and it is categorized under herb. Second example is mango. We can observe lots of trees around us because we are living in the zone where there is mango cultivation. Here you can see the mango tree is taller and it is thick and hard if we talk about its stem, and the branches on that tree is at much height from the land, so it is categorized under tree. Lemon have hard stem, but it is not that thick like a tree, and its height is approximately in accordance to our height. Okay, so the stem is hard, the height is about our height, and we have branches from the base of the lemon, so it is categorized under shrub. So these are the three categories. Now we have 2 more categories, but before that let me define herbs, shrubs, and trees. Plants with green and tender stems are called herbs. They are usually short and may not have many branches. They may have 1 meter or less than 1 meter of height. Okay. Some plants develop branches near the base of stem. The stem is hard but not very thick. So these plants are called shrubs. Some plants are very tall and have hard and thick stem. The stems have branches in the upper part, much above the ground. Okay, such plants are called trees. Plants with weak stems that cannot stand upright but spread on the ground are called creepers. They're creeping over the ground. Okay, on the other hand, there are some plants which also have weak stems, but they do not creep. They climb on the supporting materials, whatever present around it. Okay, so they take support and climb up. That's why they are called climbers. Yes, activity 2. In activity 2, we are going to study about the function of stem. And what do you understand by stem? What is stem? Stem is the structure which joins or connects different parts of the plant to the root. It also carry some minerals along with water to each and every part of the plant. How? That we will study in activity 2. We would require a glass, water, red or blue color ink, or of any color except the green. We will pour water to fill the glass 1/3. Add a few drops of red or blue ink to the water, cut the base of the stem and put it in the glass. Observe the setup after some time, or you can leave it for 6 to 7 hours. Then you will find that the color rises in the stem. If this is kept for a longer period, the color will appear in the veins of leaves too. How this is happening? So the answer is, your stem have a pipe-like vessel system in it which carries the water from roots to each and every part of the plant, whether it is fruit, flower, bird and leaf. Okay, so that stem carries water and mineral for the plant. It is very important function. Some stems are modified. They are modified to perform additional function, and those additional functions are storing food, performing photosynthesis, so many. Okay, yes. Then leaf. What do you understand by leaf? So leaf is a flat structure, or you can say a thin broad structure, and it is green in color. Mostly it is green in color. It is attached to the stem or branches. Okay, it is attached with the help of a small structure, and that structure is called petiole, and that broad part of the leaf is called lamina. It is also called leaf blade. Here you can see that I have made one middle line, this one, and some small lines, right? The middle line is called midrib. This middle line is called midrib. Yes, and these lines, these branches from the midrib is called leaf veins, veinlets or veins. Okay, yes. Here activity 3 is going to explain you the arrangement of these veins. Here what they are asking you, they are asking you to collect as many leaves as you can from your surroundings, and then take it and make impression of that leaf with the help of pencil. What will you observe? You will observe that different leaves have different venation. Yes, if the leaf have midrib and its veins parallel to each other, the venation is called parallel venation. And in case when the midrib having network like arrangement on its both sides is called reticulate venation. Let me explain you the terms again. Venation means the arrangement of veins on the surface of leaf, that is venation. And when that venation is network like, means there is one midrib, from that midrib arises veins, and these veins are like network, they are forming a network over the surface of leaf. Then the term reticulate is used because because the meaning of reticulate is network. So when the venation is network like, it is called reticulate venation. And when each and every vein is parallel to the midrib, so it is called parallel venation. Here you can see these venations. Reticulate venation have network like structures, and your parallel venation have parallel line like structure over the surface of leaf. Yes, activity 4. In activity 4, what we will study? We will study one function of leaf, that is transpiration. What do you understand by transpiration? Transpiration means to lose water from the surface of leaf through tiny pore-like structure present on the surface of leaf called stomata. So stomata will allow the water vapors to come out of the leaf. But to prove our point that our leaves lose water through their surface pores, that is stomata, we are performing activity 4. For this activity we need herb, 2 transparent polythene bags and a thread. Okay, then we will take a healthy plant which is well watered and it's growing in sun. We are supposed to perform this experiment on a sunny day when there is no clouds. Okay, what we will do, we will select one branch and cover it with the help of polythene cover and tie up its mouth, as you can observe in the figure 7.11. Yes, here you can observe some water droplets in inner surface of the polythene bag. On this polythene bag, from where these droplets come? So these droplets are coming from the leaf surface. As I told you, the process is called transpiration. Let me define it again. The process of losing water in the form of water vapor through stomata is called transpiration. So it is one of the function which helps to keep the plant cool, or you can say it helps in maintaining the temperature of the plant. Along with this, it also helps to maintain water balance. Okay, yes, in activity 5 we are going to study about another function. For this we would require a leaf, spirit, a beaker, test tube, burner, water and a watch glass. We will also take iodine solution. Now if we are talking about iodine solution, that means we are going to test presence of starch. So for this, what we will do, we will take a leaf in a test tube, we will pour some spirit so that the leaf is completely immersed in it. Okay, yes, now place the test tube in a beaker which is filled with water, half filled with water. Okay, heat the beaker till all the green color from the leaf comes out into the spirit in the test tube. Okay, take out the leaf carefully with the help of forceps and wash it in the water. Now place that leaf on a watch glass and pour some iodine solution over it. When we have tested the iodine test, the leaf turns bluish. Why so? Because leaf make food with the help of chlorophyll present in it. That chlorophyll is also responsible for imparting green color to the leaf. So that food which is made by leaf is stored in its cells. Okay, so when we test iodine solution over it, we will see the color change. That color changes to bluish black color, which shows the presence of starch in that leaf. So this confirms that your leaf make its own food, and on the basis of that we can call the plant autotrophic, which make their own food. Okay, so the process of making food is called photosynthesis. Here you can see leaves prepare their food in the presence of sunlight and a green colored substance present in it. That green colored substance is called chlorophyll. Okay, for this they also use water and carbon dioxide. This process is called photosynthesis. One plus point for photosynthesis is it is making food, but it is also making oxygen, which is the very first requirement of each and every animal or organism on earth. Okay, the food prepared by leaves ultimately gets stored in different parts of a plant, and as we know that your leaves make food, it is one of the function of leaf. Okay, the second function is transpiration, which helps in water balance and temperature maintenance. And the food which is prepared by your leaves are transferred to each and every part of the plant body, whether it is root, fruit, flower, bird, stem, any part. Okay, the same thing we have studied about our stem. That stem also carry water and minerals to each and every part. In a similar way, your leaves perform the same function with the help of that vein. Okay, so this is all about your leaf and your stem. In the next lecture, we will study about root, different type of roots. Okay, and if there is any doubt, please feel free to ask. Thank you.